Hey,
Good morning.
morning, afternoon for me. It's what is it? 2 o'clock over here. So lots of stuff going on. I have two little ones with me today. My niece and nephew are gonna hang out with me every Tuesday now for summer. So
Cool.
I got dad hanging out with them right now, but it also means that I had a really hectic day and haven't been able to play around with any of this live technology. So the upshot is we can go live potentially. Let me force quit this thing in the background. Okay, there. uh, but I just checked. I didn't realize you need to go into the live section of YouTube and say that you want to go live. So now we can go live in 23 hours, 58 minutes, and 2 seconds. 1 second, 0 second. Uh, and so I guess I don't know why it takes 24 hours. So hopefully next time this will be live.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Um, so the one thing the main thing I wanted to get resolved today was um, I kind of think I should have a pseudonym.
Mm.
Like a non-deplume. Like I don't care if people know that Tori Namison is this guy. Just that I feel like there should be sort of a separation between my private life and my online sort of persona. I kind of got this idea from there's a guy called Derek Sivers, and he just is online as Derek Sivers, and he became really famous. He started CD Baby, and now he's sort of this like he just made a ton of money, and he decided to, instead of like starting another startup, he was just going to give away all his money,
Mm.
um, but keep enough so that he still has tons of money. So essentially, like he doesn't have to pay taxes on the income because he's got a complex thing where when he dies, it's all going to get donated or something. So he just runs around being this smart, interesting guy. And he talks about how if he could go back in time, he wishes he would just use a different name so
Mm.
that when he sees a comment online like, "Oh, Derek Sivers sucks because blah blah blah," he doesn't take it so personally. So
Mm.
it's not necessarily to protect my identity. It's more like when I see my name out live and I get like this comment like, "Oh, Tori, you're an asshole." I don't have to take it personally. I can say, "Oh, well, maybe I should improve my persona." It's not necessarily me, you
Right.
know?
How many of those negative comments have you suffered so
Well,
far?
I haven't yet, but I hopefully I'll get this show will get popular enough that we'll get at least one negative comment. And instead
Yes.
of like being depressed and crawling into a ball, I saw, okay, well, that presentation of Hacker Tory or whatever.
I had
I'm sure you've got a lot of negative stuff, right? You're kind of a
yeah,
public figure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't as far not really about me as such, but I think somewhere 2019 or 18, I was made aware by one of my friends that somebody had left a negative comment about our makerspace,
Mm.
troublemaker, in a post somewhere on social media, and that hurts a lot because
Yeah.
this is your baby, and you and the reason why troublemaker exists is simply to help people, and it's a makerspace. I mean, it's not like now I'm running an accelerator program, but I mean, a makerspace is kind of a free place where everybody just kind of does what they want. There is not a specific program. Everybody who asks helps get help. Um, Basically, everyone experiences that as a positive thing. I mean, they get ahead in life. But what happened was that this guy, um, before he came, he reached out and he needed some help. So I said, well, just whenever you're in China, just drop by. And then he didn't have a lot of money, so I kind of gave him 2 months access to the makerspace without any payment. And then he disappeared, like it's kind of normal because in China you get a visa for 1 or 2 months, and then when that's off finished, then you leave China. So I mean, this is nothing spectacular. What I then in the article found is that he kind of had visited whatever he could visit, like also like hacks and other things, and he had written a kind of review about everything he noticed. And then about Troublemaker, he wrote, well, it's basically just a space run by 2 people, and then he left some kind of negative comments where his perception of what the situation is incorrect, because the space was basically run by everyone who is there, all the members. Like, yes, there technically there is like one CEO and there is like 3 co-founders. So even that he had wrong. It's not 2 people. He just saw 1 or 2 people, and the other one which he saw is not had not a position at Troublemaker. But the space is run by everybody who is there. All the members are running Troublemaker, and the guy had asked a lot of questions. He had received a lot of answers. He was sent everywhere. Most of the places which he has finished, which he wrote about, were introduced by us. And he ignored everything, all the positive experience, what he has received, all the value what he has received, and he used that to write a negative post. And the thing what he was trying to do is getting an authority position with this post. Like, okay, look, I have visited everything, and I can tell you which place is good and which place is not. So if you have any questions about product development, you can come to me, because I'm this mechanical engineer who knows everything about China, and I can help you. So it was a marketing post for him in which he blacklisted organizations who have helped him and did nothing wrong. And that was the most hurtful part. It was not about somebody writes a negative thing about you. It was plain lies.
Yeah. Well, but then, I mean,
it's a troll.
Yeah.
So my first troll.
That's the thing, is you probably had like hundreds, if not thousands, of positive comments, and you don't remember them. You remember the negative one, and it's really hard. So I'm only thinking of this theoretically, because I'm not so famous that like people comment negative or positive, but from listening to podcasts and semi-famous people, and like often like if I like an artist, I'll get into their interviews and learn a lot about them, like not just their music or art or something. I'll try to find them talking online and doing interviews, and what I hear over and over again is there's you just can't positive or negative. You can't like follow those. You can't take those reviews to heart. So, I mean, you could see it as constructive feedback, maybe, but that's really hard to do when it's so personal. So, I don't know. I just think having this sort of separation, like I don't know, Skrillex or what's that guy? Not Mushroomhead. Marshmello, I think, is a like a musician, and he wears a mask, so it's kind of like it has this I don't know, like David Bowie, like one of my favorite artists. His name's not it's definitely not Bowie. I don't think it's even David. But like, I might not like the person that is David Bowie if I met him in person, but I love, the David Bowie musician persona and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it just sort of, I don't know, it just sort of it gives a separation. So I can sort of put something into this project, and this project, if it doesn't work out, it's not me, it's this one part of me or something like that.
Yes.
So
I was thinking about the name Taurus.
Taurus?
Yeah.
Oh, like Taurus, like a
Taurus.
Oh, like the bull.
Yes.
I like that. Well, how about Taurus, like Torus? Like the shape.
English is not my native language.
Oh, right. Okay.
What's a Taurus?
It's like the donut shape, I think, is
okay.
Taurus. and it's kind of beautiful mathematically. I did have Dr. Tesla as kind of a thing, but I mean, this was before Elon Musk created the Tesla, and now it's not as cool anymore. Tesla's not as it like became really cool, and no one knew. Now people think of Tesla, they think of the car,
Yes.
or they think
Yes.
of Elon Musk. So I don't like that one anymore. And then, but I want to be like a geek, like sort of a.
Yeah, so I thought about Taurus, of course, because it phonetically it kind of resembles Tory. And a Taurus, a bull, is a very powerful animal, and it's also like fierce, and it's perceived as masculinity.
Yeah. I don't know how masculine I am though.
Nah, it was also a little bit of referring to the other podcast project you're working on.
Yeah.
I think their Taurus would probably have a positive connotation.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to think about
Anyway, I just wanted to throw it in the bowl of lottery tickets, and let's see what comes out.
Yeah, maybe I should come up with 10 ideas and bounce them off you.
Even your family name is like interesting, because
Namaste.
like Nom Nom is like
yeah.
taste.
Oh yeah. I had a girlfriend that called me Nom Nom or something, because that's the sound that the Cookie Monster makes. Nom 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 Nom. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Nami, like Nami. My middle name is Jens TJ, though that kind of sounds like some sort of jokey guy. I don't know. I meant to have 10 ideas, but I had these. I'm every Tuesday now. I'm gonna have my niece and nephew over. So my
There's gonna come some ideas. You ask them.
Oh, actually, that's a great idea. Yeah, duh, of course. Well, so you have a child, right, or couple, or I don't know.
Yeah, I know at least 4.
Oh yeah, so like I mean I don't want to complain because I only have them once a week, and I love the hell out of them. I can't imagine what it's like to be an actual parent, because it's a lot of fun, but it's also like one of them threw up and I had to clean it all up, and just needs so much attention, and so anyway, your mind is just too scattered to do anything, so I wasn't really able to concentrate. But anyway, I mean, I love the hell out of these kids. I don't want to like have the people think I have kids.
For now, I should just borrow them for a while.
Yeah.
Because sooner rather than later, you might get settled and have your own, and then yes, I mean, I love all my kids, and there's absolutely nothing against it. It is something really, it's really serious, of course. Like it's like they don't owe you anything,
right?
You owe them everything, because you made them and you bring them in the world. They didn't ask for that. And I mean, like my first wife and I divorced when my first daughter was 6. And I left China when my second daughter, by the way, with the same woman, was 9. There's 10 years difference between them. And basically, I live here with my current wife, and we have twins who are 7 years old, almost 8 or 7,
oh, wow.
7.5. And I mean, I miss my daughters in Holland a lot. They're very beautiful people and doing a lot of great stuff. And I can't be there to share that with them, and I can't be there to when they feel hurt, or when they're like yes, they do reach out to me once in a while, but it's absolutely not the same. So If there's one thing, like kind of like what I would like to change if I would be able to go back in time, is just to, it's kind of like marry the right person immediately.
Yeah.
Which is basically what I had in mind, because I mean it was actually not me divorcing my ex-wife, even though the marriage wasn't that great, because I never wanted a divorce. I mean, I came from a divorced family and I just didn't want to do that. So it from my side it would never have happened. But I mean, you never say never, but I mean I had absolutely zero intention to do that. I was actually a couple of years depressed after when it happened. So, but the thing here is that the marriage wasn't good because I didn't know what I needed in life when I met her. I had set my mind on the absolutely most beautiful woman in the world, and I married her, and it happened. I married a Russian catwalk model who was a physiotherapist and a marathon runner at the same time. And she became my wife, and I mean, it's like, who the fuck am I to make that happen? But it happened. And the thing is that she needed so much more than what I was and what I could give her, and I was never, ever, ever good enough for anything. It's not really true, but I mean, that's how I felt. And you only find out that wisdom after you fall in that situation the first time. So my second marriage is way, way, way better than the first one, because I know much better what I need in life for a person as a partner. So it comes with time, it comes with experience. It's not something you can potentially know up front. But I mean, if there's only one thing what I wish I could know, then it would be that. Because I mean, it's something what you just don't want to happen. You don't want a divorce and not see your children, or have agreements on when you can see your child, or fights about it, and from the point of view of the child, it's devastating.
My brother's going through a divorce right now too, so
another good experience.
My first wife was gorgeous, but she was just a whole bunch of trouble. We were married for 7 years. If I could go back in time, I think what I would do, I know this is totally off topic, but I would have knocked up my high school girlfriend and just married her, because she was pretty better than most of the other women that I've dated since then. Oh man. So, well, I don't know. Let's get back on topic a little bit. Though that is definitely like a major thing to have made as a child. But I was thinking what logo, because I want to design the logo, and I'm wondering what sort of thing should be in it. I was thinking a telephone, because it's a hacker called, but I'm not sure. That's all I got. You're kind of frozen?
Okay. I don't look frozen to myself, but I don't know how about
okay.
Frozen to me.
Oh, okay. So hopefully Skype will connect the videos, and no one on the other, when it goes live, no one will be able to tell. But
let's see. To experiment.
Do you have any ideas for a logo for a hacker called?
So there's a couple of things in here, right? It's like so we have hacker, and we have call. Can be a person, and it can be a phone.
So is a telephone maybe a little too on the nose?
The thing is, like, if you would use a telephone, you would guide people in the direction that is only allowed.
That's true. Yeah.
Someone, where I think the fun part of this podcast name can also mean that we're discussing a certain hacker. We're discussing a hacker named Thomas.
Right.
called Thomas, a hacker called Thomas.
It could be like a name badge. When you go to a conference and you have the little like "My name is," and it could say a hacker called, and then it's empty. I don't know.
Yes, so that could be. So it could be a name badge with a phone in it. So where you have both sides of the story. So it's a name badge, a hacker called, and then also
a nameplate, like I think that's it. Actually,
I mean, if you go to a hacker conference, then they usually have interesting badges, right?
Right. Yeah. Like you solder it yourself, and you can do little, yeah. Yeah. Then when we get big, we can have this fancy printed circuit board thing. Oh, I like it. A hacker called, and then it has like a little LED, and you can program your name to scroll.
You don't have to be big for that.
I know. That's true. Well, we'd have to have a conference, or at least go to one. I like that. I think that's it. A name badge with the phone. I'm seeing it. It's going to take a while for me.
A name badge with some PCB routing tracks on it. Maybe the letters are written as a PCB track.
With some circuit kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is there maybe I could look up a circuit board for a phone and sort of like put a phone circuit board in there? I don't know. So it'd be a little meta.
I think nobody can recognize that.
Well, yeah. But if it was obscure enough, it'd be kind of like an inside joke. Like Noise Bridge is there's actual thing called a Noise Bridge, and their logo is that actual is a Noise Bridge. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, that's enough for me to play with. A name badge and some kind of phone and or circuitry. And I'll work on my pseudonym later. I want to project geek and hacker, essentially. Anyway, I'll have to think about that. Cool. Was there... Oh, yeah, so I guess I want to make an announcement. We have the website. Don't go to it yet, but maybe by the time I post this, there'll be something there. It's a hackercalled.com.
Cool.
I got
awesome, really.
Yeah, awesome. So now it just says, welcome to a WordPress site or something like that. It's installed with nothing on it.
Are you good with WordPress?
Yeah. I mean, I'm. My hard part is like I actually hate the design part. So if you want to help on the design, like I just I don't know, the design of the thing is hard for me. Like I love designing things, but when it comes to WordPress,
that's why like my websites. Of course, they might have a different function, but like I used to work with Beaver Builder, but I totally left that behind.
Beaver Builder?
Well, like there were like page builders like Elementor and Beaver Builder. And in that time I had no clue what I needed. So I looked up a lot of testimonials, and I learned that Beaver Builder was more stable than Elementor. So in that time I went with Beaver Builder. The point is,
Beaver Builder is just a
page builder
plugin for WordPress. Okay.
So the thing with those things is that they don't really come with suitable templates, let's say. Yeah. So you really have to start designing from the ground up. And if you're not a designer, you basically fuck up everything because it doesn't look really great.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of comments about this, and now I'm using Thrive Themes, which is it's a little bit well, it's a conversion focused suite of plugins. So they have really everything worked out together. But it's not necessarily appreciated in the WordPress community, because like WordPress is supposed to be like open source, and all the plugins are supposed to be kind of open source, like you're paying for the updates and for the service. But Thrive Themes is kind of a black box when you try to, it might be open source, I'm not sure, but it's kind of like a black box when you try to integrate it as being another plugin.
Okay.
And there's a really good reason, because like the stuff works. And the problem with a lot of other WordPress plugins, when you start like gluing them together, they never really work well together. So you actually still need like some custom development to make them really work well. Okay. And because Thrive has this whole suite of different things what kind of go together, you just don't face that problem. But the good thing is that they have like hundreds of templates which are focused on, it's basically marketing, it's conversion based.
Oh, okay.
But it's really nice designed, and it comes with their own theme builder. So you go through a wizard, and you just choose your colors, you choose your block temps, whatever, and then all the colors are kind of matched automatically. So it is very simple to get a pretty decent looking website with kind of minimal effort, if not being a designer.
Okay, we could try that. I think it's easy enough. We could start bare bones, and there's a plugin for because I started a podcast. I only did one episode called I really like the idea, but it was so much work that I ended up not pursuing it. But I had a podcast called An Excuse to Talk to You. And so if you go to excusetotalktotou.com, you got one episode, and I'm really proud of it. I think it's pretty good. But I also have maybe 10 or 15 interviews, audio interviews, and I just never found the motivation to edit them down and put up another one. So I've at least had a practice run for what a serial episodic thing will be. And at least for now, we're just not editing this. We're just going to go live to drive, as they say. So we're just going to do it live, and then.
What are you going to use for editing video?
Nothing really. I mean, I know Premiere, and I use the Adobe suite. So I use Premiere and whatever the I'm blanking on the name of the Audition, I think it's called. And so I have all the skills. Essentially, like I know what to do. The problem is finding the motivation to do it. And with this show, I have the motivation, because when it's just me by myself working in a black box, it's easy to just go, I don't have an audience. No one's depending on me. But here I have Henk depending on me, so I need to get this done.
Yeah, so absolutely
cool.
So, I like that you have Adobe skills. Like a lot of people don't, and I mean there are a lot of tools out there, but it seems that Camtasia is releasing something tomorrow with this kind of revolutionary. Okay. So I don't know yet what it is, but I mean I'm being invited into webinars by these marketing people who are going to reveal what Camtasia is all about.
Is Camtasia the LMS for Adobe, the learning management thing?
No, Camtasia is a web. I mean, kind of what we're now doing on Skype, but then. It's a web interviewing recording software, where you can do presentations with your head in a bubble and things like that. And
right. Okay. I know that one. It's like a ScreenFlow with extra features.
It seems to be like, I've never used it, but it seems to be like the industry standard, and like a good one.
Yeah. I think I've put it on my resume with like checking it out enough to know that I could learn it quickly, enough to put on my resume for teaching jobs. Because that I don't know. Yeah, because I feel like I can pick up any software. I used to teach Adobe and Microsoft Excel, or Microsoft, anything Microsoft and anything Adobe, really. And most of the time, I just basically learned enough to teach it and just built it up over time. And like learning software, I mean, I feel like I'm really good at learning any kind of software. The problem for me is like, what do I do with it? So, but I've relied on Adobe for many years, since even maybe before college, but anyway, at least in college. And I've taught it, and I've almost got certified as an Adobe trainer, and then moved on to a different job before that happened. But I'm very comfortable with that whole thing, and I pay for the Creative Suite. Every month. They have my money, so.
Is your hardware also like up to par with?
No, my hardware. I mean, it's good enough. I wouldn't edit a Hollywood film on it, but I have. Let me look at this thing. This is something I should invest in. My computer is from 2013, late 2013, but.
The board from Asus, there's a basic Creator Series PCs. If you build your own PC.
Actually, that's what I'm thinking. My next computer is going to be a PC, so I'll need a lot of. I will need some recommendations on that, on what to get.
I have a list of stuff what I've been looking at like 2 or 3 months ago. It might already be a little bit outdated, but I mean, it's probably still a good guideline. Because I really invested like 2 months' time checking through all the components, awesome. what a custom PC needs to have. So I have a whole list of a whole wish list.
Is that a laptop or a?
No, it's just a box.
Okay. Well, because I wouldn't want a laptop because I travel a lot.
I know they have the same. They have a laptop which matches that board. I didn't look into that because I have been using laptops for the last 11 years of my life, and I have replaced like 4 or 5 in that time, and I'm a little bit tired with replacing laptops.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, I have a Mac, and they're pretty solid. They get every update it gets a little bit slower and stuff, but the machine itself seems to be pretty solid and last, I feel, longer than PCs, but they're definitely much more money and less customizable. But I don't know, and I want to get into Linux. I want to learn a little bit of InfoSec and stuff like that too.
Well, if you want to stay with Mac, I mean, how about this new? It's not a Mac Mini, but it looks a little bit like a Mac Mini, right?
I haven't caught up with it. I'm sure there's something. I know they're making so much money on phones that they're sort of spending less engineering power, I think, on their computers. Yeah. So they make money on iMovie or whatever, Apple Movie, whatever. So they're still good computers, but I would say they're I don't know, they're not as good as they could be since they're not the moneymaker anymore. And Adobe works Mac or PC, and that's basically all I use. That in a web browser, and Skype and Facebook and WeChat and all that, which is
and that's the whole point. Like if you use all the common stuff, then I mean you don't even have to choose anything. You just pick anything out of the rack. The point is, like, if you start thinking about streaming, or if you start thinking about using OBS, or if you start thinking about Adobe and Adobe plus OBS, I mean, now you're into making some decisions. If you don't want to sit 5 hours waiting for a video to render.
Yeah, so I that's what I want right now, Adobe plus OBS essentially. And then also I can't really play. Well, this is not true anymore, but like Steam, the video game system really sucks on a Mac, or at least my old Mac. But Google just came out with Stadia, and it's just as good as an Xbox on my old Mac. But with PCs, there's some interesting games I've heard of that I haven't been able to play.
So I will share with you my
please.
two favorite YouTubers related to this. One is a gamer who is big on Twitch as well, but moved to YouTube for the findability, and he's doing really, really great. He's put up a lot of interesting stuff every week. And the other one is a video editor who also has a show on YouTube, and both of them have very interesting episodes. And this is where I mean, I see more than them, but this is the two where I usually watch what they do, follow.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check them out. Let me put my phone on silent because I think I heard a little thing go. Okay. Cool.
So next time we want to see your name in the bottom changed to some kind of something.
We'll see.
A stage name.
Yeah. I'll have to think about it. One of my thought was to Google scientists and stuff. Maybe find some obscure guy that or woman or something that has invented or discovered some interesting thing and use that name. Because that's what Tesla is essentially.
Yeah. So,
although he's less obscure.
You like referrals to.
Yes, maybe someone smart and eccentric. I don't know. I think David Bowie was like David Crockett and then a Bowie knife. Davy Crockett. I don't know. He was where he got his name. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well,
I never ever focused on David Bowie. I mean, of course, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just obsessed about him.
But does the guy have a real name or?
Yeah, he does. I forget what it is, but yeah, it's not David Bowie. Yeah, I don't know. I could go on about him. I just loved his he thought he was going to be a famous artist and just sort of became a musician accidentally. But he was just so I don't know. He just really like thinker. He had a lot going on in his mind, and every time I've heard of any other musician talking about him, he just loved to collaborate, and he would just sort of go in the studio and make whatever that artist was doing better. And he did all kinds of I think he did a duet with Sinatra. He did a duet with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, and just huge collaborator. And just improved everybody's life as far as what I've heard from interviews.
But it's interesting that from most of the people that I can come up with, that he's the only one with a pseudonym. I mean, like Frank Sinatra doesn't have, Rod Stewart doesn't have, Neil Diamond doesn't. Neil Diamond, yeah, he might have. He might not be Diamond with his family name. Didn't even think about it.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, even Liberace, that's his real last name, but he didn't go by whatever Vicente, blah blah Liberace. You know, I mean, maybe I could go by the last name, but Namison is hard to. Well, Liberace was a hard name too. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I just want some separation from my personal. Yeah, and it's not that I care about getting doxxed, although that would be horrible. But I just don't. I just wanted some separation, so that I don't have to take these comments personally.
It's an interesting thought. I mean, my name is Dutch and Austrian. Family name is Austrian originally, and my first name is as Dutch as it can be. And a lot of people don't really know how to pronounce it, but it's like after I started Troublemaker and this name started to come more into the public. I think the name itself became kind of like a trademark.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I kind of like I don't want to do anything about it. Like I'm just Henk of Troublemaker, you know.
Yeah,
But
so I'd like to do that before I get to that point. Well, also, I mean, Torrey is a tree, so it's a tree that grows native around here. And so I was taking paragliding lessons at a place called Torrey Pines Glider Port. Then people are like, "Oh, do you own this place?" I'm like, "I wish, no." And there's a golf course here called Torrey Pines Golf Course, and there's Torrey. There's a street called Torrey, and there's a like little villas called Torrey something. Yeah.
so there is a
So it's
street
already
called,
has its
there's a
own
street
brand.
called Torrey. There is a hacker called Torrey.
Yeah. Yeah. A hacker called Torrey. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, I don't know how to segue to this, but I wanted to talk about a project that I'm working on right now.
Okay.
So these are eBugs, and this is let's see if I can get it. So it's made out of recycled electronics.
Cool.
And I'm working with these engineers in Shenzhen and Macau, Kalamov and Jason. I can't pronounce their Chinese names. So, and they're just these amazing works of art. And so I'm trying to sell them here. And we've got two avenues we're working on, like sell them as fine art, but then we're also selling them as kits. So on the 11th, coming up next Saturday, I'm going to have a show showing them as fine art at a gallery here in Solana Beach, San Diego, California area. And then we're in talks with Plaid, which is a company that distributes stuff for Michaels and Hobby Lobby, which are sort of craft stores, if you will. So the idea is to, if we can, ideally we'd sell the idea and then they just buy the idea from us.
Yeah. Licensing.
Yeah, licensing. Yeah, so I'd have a licensing thing like that. And that'd be the first time I've ever done this. I'm working with a sort of a mentor who's my dad's friend. He's an inventor who invented, if you ever have a picture framed, there's a spacer that's made out of this special clear stuff that's sticky but won't mark anything and also won't turn yellow with time. And he just told me today he's sold 32,000 feet, 32,000 miles of it. He's made over $1 million with it. He's sold enough of it to reach from Earth to the moon. So he's helping me with this. His name's Dave, and yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed this goes through. But that's my current geeky project I'm working on.
Yeah, I like it. I first misheard what you said, so I thought it was eBooks, but it's eBugs.
eBugs, yeah.
I think the combination of fine art and being like a STEM kit is kind of interesting, because I mean STEAM, you know, like STEAM has art in it. So I mean you have fine art, and then you also have
I guess it's mirrored, but it says eBugs.
No, it's not mirrored at all.
Oh, it's just mirrored for me. Okay.
You see yourself mirrored, but we see you totally perfect.
I don't know what's wrong with the
handmade
focusing.
Love, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going sort of after two markets. One is to build it yourself, but like really simple, like for.
But the thing here is it should be combined. It's two markets, but it's like, why do people want to do a training on how to repair your own, or like how to build your own iPhone, a troublemaker? It's because there is an iPhone existing. They want to play with that. They want to play with an iPhone and disassemble it and learn how it works and assemble it again and then bring it home and working. And if you have a fine art example, which looks like you sell this series of fine art, and then parents want their child to be able to create that same fine art, and you say, well, here is the kit, here is all the components what you need to enable your child to get there. And we can even do workshops with your child there to get them up to par, that they are able to create their own fine art, and here are the components you need.
Yeah, that's the idea, except sort of yeah. So what we're approaching now with Michael's is very easy, because people that make crafts aren't like hackers like us that are solder themselves. I mean, the original idea was sort of to like there's a piece in here that gives it interactivity. Let me see if I can find the switches for it, but it actually will turn on and make noise.
It's a buzzing sound, right?
Yeah, it's a buzzing sound and it lights up. So this, like, as you interact with it, it'll light up. And I think there's a buzzing sound on one of them. Yeah, if you can hear that. So this is a mosquito, obviously. So there is that component to it, but it's also, we're just thinking we sell, right? So you make this part, and then the electronics is just a whole kit that comes with it. So it's and this is only because we have, through Dave, we have the ear of Plaid. So we're marketing to them and trying to make it as easy as possible. But what's great is they're recycled parts. So I don't think this one has a circuit board, but some of them have a circuit board on them that's like already printed and thrown away, and Jason will just cut it. And then the wings are new material, but these are like resistors that are seconds, like they didn't pass factory inspection. These are these capacitors? Oh, these might actually be capacitors, but anyway, you get the idea. They're all little parts that have, that are factory seconds or recycled parts.
I think it's cool. It's really cool.
Thanks.
Steampunk.
Yeah, I'm not sure steampunk. That's definitely not for this show coming up. This is fancy, like women that have the little puffy dogs and wear leopard print, upscale, rich people that like art. So I don't think they really understand steampunk. So we're going to change that part of the name, at least for this show.
Yes.
But yeah, what are you working on?
My accelerator program.
Oh, right. Okay. Is that taking up all your time now?
Yes. So first of all, we have a cohort running, and then it's my first cohort. It's not the first cohort awesome. of the company. So like we branched off from an Australian accelerator, and we're the Chinese branch. And we're now in week 1, and before that we had an orientation day, so it's the second week that they joined the session.
Oh,
cool. Just last first session with 3 mentors. And I created the learning management system behind it and all the automations. Everything is based on Thrive themes. They have called Thrive Apprentice, which is a course, and everything is redesigned. You can have a look how I did. And there are quizzes, and like my learning management system is gamified. Really? So you're a special agent, and you have weekly missions, and every weekly mission consists of 10 to 20 targets, and you have to eliminate all your targets in order for your mission to be completed. And everything is in black and white. And when you do a quiz, you see an image with a lot of people hurting each other as not pictures, it's like graphics. Whoa. But it's really fun to look, to experience. Now I still have to add more gamifying elements, like when you succeed with things, that things pop up and whatever. But the basis is there, and we had some struggles with some technical issues. So together with the support teams at different companies, that solved mostly. So I'm now preparing week 2, all the quizzes, what people have to fill in. And then what I did is, because like I said, Thrive is actually kind of like a closed box, but they have this new product called Thrive Automator, which is kind of an API with everything else. So when people fill out a quiz in the course platform, the data is sent to my CRM, and I get a message on my phone that an agent has submitted a new target report, and I can just see in my CRM. I can let's say move it to the next stage in the CRM. It's like this kind of Kanban board style. So I know immediately when one of my students has submitted their homework. And I can, wherever I am in the world, I can just assess it and follow up on it.
Oh, how cool.
So that's taking up my time.
People are paying for this, right?
Yes. So
and
people are paying for it, but the business model is not necessarily to earn from the course itself. The main thing, what we're doing is assessing. Like it's an idea stage hardware accelerator program, and the target audience is we call it everyday inventors. And an everyday inventor is basically just what it says. It's like everyday people with a daytime job who have an idea, who probably had that idea for decades, and decide that now is the time that they want to act upon it. Some of them have already tried and see how difficult it is to get somewhere. And they realize that they want to go through a program, and our program is dedicated to help people to go from an idea to getting their product in the market and make money on it. Now, there's a couple of things, like here in Shenzhen, of course, we can help them very easily with prototyping and manufacturing. But the difference, what I noticed for people that came through Troublemaker, is that they only focus on product. They think like, if I only make a prototype and I show that to these people, then they buy, or if I show it to this investor, then they invest. And it's just not the case, because the prototype is, I call it, it's like the stem of the tree. It's very important. Without a stem, there is no tree, and there will be no apples, and there will be no harvest. But if you don't grow your branches, which is like your customer base, knowing your customers, or if you don't do your marketing, your branding, if you don't have your certification in place, if you don't have your legals in place, if you don't have your financing in place, then there's no investor who's going to invest in you because they are feeling insecure. So this program is about assessing which founder is dedicated enough because it's a really tough bootcamp style program for 15 weeks. And if you graduate in week 14, you have 100 paying customers before the end of the program. Even if you don't have a prototype yet, you have 100 paying customers. And we seriously think that you have added $250,000 valuation to your company based on having done all the homework and implemented everything. And you have learned how to pitch. So you can pitch the product to clients. That's why you got money from them. But you can also pitch your product to investors and talk. You learn how to talk with manufacturers and things like that. So I think there is no second program in the world who does what we do in the way how we do it.
Wow. Is it focused just on hardware?
Only hardware. So you must have a hardware product. You must be able to tell how it adds value to your customers. Okay. And you must be able to explain how it works. It's not like, okay, I have an idea right now and I want to go through. If you don't have clarity on how things work, you haven't thought it through yet enough. So these 3 things: hardware product, be able to tell what value it adds to your audience, and being able to explain how it works. If you have these 3, then you potentially qualify to enter. Even if you have the money and you want to join, but you don't have one of these three, we will not take you.
Cool. I feel like I need to, I need to figure out how to tell what the audience wants, and I'm sort of that's what I'm struggling with right now. Like I've got a great team.
That's part of the program.
Oh, okay.
Like
yeah, I mean, it sounds
people
like
pitch from day one. On the first Sunday, they pitch 30 seconds, and usually their pitches suck. There's one girl.
Okay.
There's one girl in the program who's really great at pitching, but she's not new to this to that thing.
Yeah.
But all the others suck at it. But by week 15, they do a 5-minute pitch, and they're killing it.
Nice. Well, sounds like I need that. I need your course. Hopefully, I'll be able to fit in round 2. I'm just not quite ready right now. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, but we should put a link in the show notes. First of all, we need show notes, a place to put the show notes. But when we do, we'll definitely maybe have a page, like to wherever you want people to go for this.
Right.
So, oh, sorry, you were holding up your finger, but I see it's frozen. You're no longer holding up your finger. So that's cool. Okay. So I think that's a wrap for our show. It's coming on to an hour.
Yes.
And well, this show is brought to you by eBugs, and what's the name of your accelerator?
It's Innovation Drive.
Right, Innovation Drive. And for the inventive spirit. Oh, I wanted to mention that last thing the potential tagline for our show. Have the courage to fail miserably or something. Oh no, hold on, I'm pulling up. Have the courage to fail at something new. No. Be brave enough to suck at something new.
Yes.
I like that. That could be our thought of the day or something.
I came across this slogan a couple of days ago, and I still haven't figured out where it originates from. But it's such an awesome slogan. Be brave enough to suck at something new.
Yeah, that is.
But I don't know if it's going to kill everything. But I wrote this text to the guy where I originally saw this slogan, and I said, okay, I printed your slogan on a T-shirt of a startup event, and they liked it a lot. And after the event, we went to a gay district, and they also liked it a lot.
Oh, oh, right. It has that. Oh, to suck someone new.
No, to suck at something new.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool. Wow, cool. All right. Well, on that note, I guess it's also brought to you by Drinking About Sex, the show where I geek out about sex. Henk will be a guest on it, not today, maybe next time. But
how's Cor doing?
He got COVID.
Yes.
So did I tell you? Yeah. Okay. So he is holed up in his house. We're gonna attempt to do a show today, but our co-host is out traveling. So we felt having 3 males on was too much testosterone. So it's him and I and a female guest. We met at DomCon, which is a yearly dominatrix convention. Where we met a woman who wrote a book. So we're going to have her on this time. But hopefully next week with Mistress Alice in Bondage Land, and I will have Henk as the guest. So might as well promote this here, even though by the time anyone watches this, the show will probably be over. But we'll put a link in the show notes after we get show notes. Cool. All right. Awesome. Sign off tag goes here.
Yes. Thanks a lot, buddy.
All right.
Great being here.